The very final song on the Yellow Submarine album is Yellow Submarine in Pepperland, which, if I'm being completely honest with you, I quite like. In fact, I probably like it more than Yellow Submarine the song. And you may throw guns at me, throw knives, throw cabbages or lettuces. You may be extremely angry, but I do not care. I think it's better. I think it's more triumphant. I think it's got different bits in it. It's a symphony. It goes through 4 different sections. I enjoy that. It's a medley of variations on a theme, okay? And I enjoy that. I like it. Sorry. Right, that is it for Yellow Submarine. I'll take my leave. Can't get in that one. I was getting this one. Jesus Christ, I've been in that cupboard for 2 weeks. Alright, there's been some critical editing errors, as you've noticed, by the fact the last song off of Yellow Submarine was the first song on here. But whatever, I forgot it and I couldn't be bothered to re-upload it, so, you know, have it now, not that you even care. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about Abbey Road, possibly the Beatles' second most loved album, behind Sgt. Pepper's Little Winkle's Heart Club group, or whatever it's fucking called. Anyway, let's get right into it. Let's sink our teeth into Abbey Road! The first song on Abigail Street is Come Together, which was used in the Avengers advert, if you remember. And it also has its first 2 lines stolen from a Chuck Berry song. But good old Chuck was not even that bothered, because he was a fan of the Beatles. As you can tell by the fact, later in life, he performed with Jonathan Lennon and his son Julian, who is the inspiration for the song Hey Jude. You may have heard of it. Anyway, Come Together is quite a simple song. All the lyrics are fucking gibberish. But I suppose it makes a change from he loves you, she loves you, she loves him, and all that from the early days. Sick of it. Done. I'm done with it. Now we're talking about real things from the heart, like spinal crackers and oh no sideboards. Anyway, Come Together. It's quite interesting. Starts off like that with on the drums, and then for the rest of the song, which isn't really that technical, but it does keep the beat going and it keeps you interested in the music that is being played by the group The Beatles. Whatever, I can't talk anymore. I'm sick of doing these fucking ranked videos. Thank Christ there's only 3 of them left. Anyway, Come Together is going in at number 61.
Love's got the world in motion, and I can't believe it's true.
Something is quite a beautiful song, really. You could say it's one of the best love songs of all time. Frank Sinatra himself said it was his favourite Lennon-McCartney composition, which shows he really needs to do his fucking research, because it's actually by George Harrison. Anyway, it's either about Pattie Boyd or God, depending on who you ask. George Harrison himself said he wanted to call it something in the way he moves, he being Krishna. And there's in fact a missing sort of improvised middle 8 bit where George goes, you know, I love that woman of mine, I need her all of the time, I'm telling you, that woman, don't make me blue. You can hear that in the anthology version after the You're Asking Me, Will My Love Grow bit, where the solo is in the version on Abbey Road. Anyway, not going to natter on, that's all I've got to say about it. Something is going in at 17. 83, it's Maxwell's Silver Hammer, which is infamous for Paul McCartney insisting the rest of the band record it over and over and over and over until they got the right take. Which is quite weird considering on the actual version, on the album, he messes up one of the words and laughs. You what, Paul? 1,000 takes, and that's the one you put on the album. Disgusting. Really makes me sick. I've had enough of you, Paul. Get out. Go on. Door's there. Get out. I'm sick of you. Get out of the band. Some people, you know, they really make me lurch. Really make me sick to my stomach. That's what I do when I see Paul McCartney. Anyway, the actual song is about a murderous man called Maxwell who goes around smashing people on the head with a hammer. So in the first verse, he courts this girl called Joan, who does like science and that in her home. See what I did there, little rhyme. And then he takes her out for a date, and then he comes to pick her up, smashes her on the head and kills her. Then he kills his teacher, and then he goes to court because he's a multiple murderer, a serial killer, I think you'd call it. And then at court, he kills the magistrate. So, you know, basically, he's a fucking psychopath like me. No, I'm joking. I'm not a psychopath. Where am I? I think I've probably got anger issues. Most of them are recorded by fucking editing in these videos. Do you know, I spend about, half an hour filming, and then about 4-5 hours editing. Really, really is a stressful experience, to be honest. I'm so glad I've only got 2 more of these ranking videos to do. It's quite symbolic, really, that tensions between myself, and myself are being stretched in a similar way to during this period between the Beatles, because they were all fucking hating each other, and I'm hating making these videos. Really, really hate making these videos, gotta be honest. Really hate it. I'm really, really angry. I could go mental at any second. I'm on the brink of collapse. It's not funny! Anyway. Please. Like and subscribe. Anyway. Maxwell's Silver Hammer is going in at 83.
Give up, that's how it should be. Don't get caught. Make your own play. Express yourself. Don't give it away. Express yourself. It's one-on-one. Express yourself.
Oh Darling is going in at 38. Fun fact, John insisted he'd do the vocals on this because he thought he was better suited to the song than Paul. I can't see John doing this. I think it's much better with Paul. And fun fact about the vocals also, Paul came in every day for about a week and absolutely sung his lungs out on this track, not intending to use any of these takes, just so he could sound a bit more like a travelling singer who'd done it about 10 times and his voice was starting to become a bit, I don't know the word, like this, if you know what I mean. But I don't actually hear that on the record. I think he sounds pretty clear. Oh, darling, like that. But much better, because this isn't really my type of song. Have you heard any of my music? None of it is really a lot like Oh Darling. But anyway, I like the bit where he goes, I'd. I like the bits. In fact, Paul, I think you got a bit of a stutter. I think you should get that looked at. Maybe get a bit of speech therapy. Comment below if you've got a stutter. Because I want to know how common it is. I don't think it's that common. I don't think I've ever met anyone with a stutter, but I've heard about it. I've seen shows about it. I've read articles about it. I've read scrolls about it. And I've read tapestries about people with stutters. But anyway, the actual song I'm supposed to be talking about is Oh Darling. And I think I've just about run out of things to say about it at 2. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to actually talk about the song and not random facts about the recording. Yeah. I like it. Paul's vocals are very powerful. And the band's very tight. Ringo's drumming is expressive. Really, I'm just using buzzwords at this point. This is about the 160th song I've done. I'm running out of things to say, to be honest. Oh Darling is going in at number 38.
It's one-on-one. It can't be wrong when something's good. It's never gone. Love's got the world in motion.
are at 62 with Octopuss's Garden, the second Beatles song which has Ringo on vocals and is about a ocean-themed topic and sounds like it's from some weird animated children's movie. I don't know what the Beatles are trying to portray Ringo as, some sort of aquaphiliac, I suppose. But anyway, it's quite tight, it's got good guitars in it, good riff. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe not a good riff, what's the word I'm looking for? Excellent solo, that's what I meant to say. It's got a really great solo by George Harrison in there. Ringo's vocals are decent. Ringo's not really a singer. I think he shines more on songs like Bye Bye Blackbird as opposed to Octopuss's Garden. It's quite well written for someone with such low confidence writing songs as Ringo. And I think the background harmonies are quite good as well. That's Octopuss's Garden for you. And it's written about the actual story behind Octopuss's Garden is when Ringo left the band for about 2 weeks because it was just all too much. It's too heavy, too much stress. He left and went on to Peter Sellers' yacht. I don't know why in a sort of area where you'd keep a yacht, you'd see octopuses, and I assume he didn't see any octopi. But he wrote a song about them, so I think the garden is a more poetic way of saying a yacht. So really it could have been called Yacht, and I will henceforth I will from now on refer to Octopuss's Garden as Yacht. Bye bye.
Love's got the world in motion, and I know what we can do. Love's got the world in motion.
Mid-table now with I Want You, open bracket, She's So Heavy, closed bracket. It's at 116 or 116, however you prefer to say, I don't fucking care. Anyway, this one isn't really very lyrically deep. The words go, I want you so bad, it's driving me mad. She's so heavy. That's all the words, as far as I'm aware. And maybe a couple babes in there as well. But it's not really about the words, this one. It's more dun 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 that. And it goes on for about 7 minutes. And once you get past the words and the jazz section in the middle, it just keeps going on and on and on and on, getting louder and louder. While in the background, this sort of weird noise comes in until that is louder than the song. Then the song's over. So it's like one of them stream of consciousness songs, if you know what I mean. It's like It's All Too Much, or Only a Northern Song, or Tomorrow Never Knows, or Within You Without You. But the difference being it's got a more heavy rock flavour to it than those. And I speak very confidently as if I have any clue what I'm going on about, when really I'm talking utter shite. Anyway, that's I Want You, open bracket, She's So Heavy, closed bracket, and that's going in at number 116. I've put George Harrison's Here Comes the Sun at 23. I think it's quite a decent tune, actually. It's alright. It reminds me of this girl I thought was really fit when I was in year 6, what you Americans call 5th grade. Because I think she sang it once in class or something, but it's vague memories now. That was about 3 years ago. Jesus Christ, I'm really old. Anyway, Here Comes the Sun, probably one of the Beatles' most famous songs. It's the most streamed. I think it's got the most YouTube views as well, but don't count me on that one, okay? Here Comes the Sun. It was written in Eric Clapton's backyard, as far as I'm aware, on an acoustic guitar. and it's sort of about it's in disguise as a love song, but really it is quite literal. Here Comes the Sun is about English summertime, and as I well know, it is cold forever before it starts to get sunny, and it's just starting to get sunny now. I think I might go outside. I mean, it has taken me 20 minutes to complete that sentence because my iPad ran out and stopped recording, but whatever. Here Comes the Sun is going in at number 23.
Got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You can be slow.
I've put because at 33 because I like it. Because it utilises a three-way harmony between McCartney, Harrison and Lennon, which sounds quite nice in a sort of operatic way. And also, I've put it at 33, the high, prestigious place, because I like it lyrically. I think it's got quite a simple structure, and in this case, simplicity works because it gets the point of the song across in as few words as possible. Because the sky's blue, it makes me cry. Because the world is round, it turns me on. Which is probably something a small dog with a tennis ball obsession would say. And because the wind is high, it blows my mind. Which is of course a reference to altitude sickness. Anyway, because is going in at 33. 3 harmonies, 33. 3, 3, 3. Bingo!
You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line. They'll always hit you and hurt you. Defend and attack. There's only one way to beat them. Get round the back. Catch me if you can, 'cause I'm the England man. And what you're looking at is the master plan. We ain't no hooligans. This ain't a football song. 3 lions on my chest. I know we can't go wrong.
And with You Never Give Me Your Money, we are into the famous Abbey Road medley. Or maybe we already started it with Because. It really depends on who you ask. One thing I particularly remember about this song is when I was in the car listening to it with my dad. And we'd been listening to the whole Abbey Road album, so he obviously knew it was the Beatles, because there's things like Something and Here Comes the Sun on them. And he's like, oh, one of the Beatles' biggest songs or something. And he knew we had the album on because I'd physically put the CD in. And he was saying, not joking in the slightest, seriously asked me, what band is this? When this song came on. Not at the start, when it got to the out of college, money spent sort of bit. Because this song is a sort of variety pack of non-Beatlesque songs. I retract my statement. It's a variety pack of, to the untrained eye, non-Beatlesque songs, because these all sound like the Beatles to me, even if they are putting on goofy American accents or whatnot. But it's a song in 4 pieces, really. Because then there's the start, you never give me your money, and then it goes to out of college, I spent, and then it goes to One Sweet Dream, and then it goes to... Sorry, I've got a bit of gas. And then it goes to 5, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or however it goes, all good children go to heaven, which I don't think is really as much a religious statement as it is John talking about absolute bollocks. But You Never Give Me Your Money is quite a nice song. It's to do with Alan Klein and how he seems to constantly say, hey Paul, I got your money. I'll take you in. I'll protect you from the world, man. Here's your money. And there was no money. He wasn't giving anyone any money. He kept all the money in his breast pocket. Breast. Oh, I'm going to get banned now. Get my nipples out. But anyway, You Never Give Me Your Money. It's quite a nice song, I think. Even though I have given almost no analysis or opinions on it. I like it, basically. And it's going in at number 55.
We're playing the song. We're singing for England. Our reverend, she is 101.
King is at 103. It starts off alright. Here come the Sun King. Here come the Sun King. Everybody's happy. Everybody's laughing. Which is quite an optimistic lyric, considering the hell the song descends into. From there on out, it's an odd mix of Spanish, Italian and Portuguese. It's unbelievable. It doesn't even mean anything. It roughly translates into my love, the sun, umbrella, merry-go-round. If you can see any meaning into that, please tell me, because to me, sounds like an absolute load of rubbish. And I think that Paul McCartney and John Lennon, despite the fact he's dead, would probably agree with me. Sun King. It's got those three-way harmonies between McCartney, Lennon and Harrison again, which sounds quite nice. But I can hear mostly Lennon in it, to be honest. Maybe my ears don't have a high enough ear Q, or ear IQ, whatever you want to call it. It's not even a real thing, so you probably won't call it anything. Anyway, yeah, that's Sun King for you. It's alright. Not that good, as you can tell by the fact it's at 103.
We're singing for England.
Mean Mr. Mustard is a sort of vignette about a small, strange, homeless man who is very vulgar and has a sister who works in a shop. It's the Beatles, man. No one knows what they're going on about, really. Only them. And even they, I think, half the time, are just absolutely off their heads on speedballs. So, Mean Mr. Mustard, it's quite pleasing to the ears. It's very catchy, considering it's a throwaway track on Abbey Road. It's like one of 17 in the album. It's right in the middle. It's the perfect song to forget. But it's probably one of the Beatles songs I have most ingrained in my head, to be honest. The tune of which, at least. I quite like Mean Mr. Mustard. I did a cover on my third album. Nah. Right, I think I've talked enough about Mean Mr. Mustard. I'm going absolutely insane, to be honest. That's going at number 74. I really like Polythene Pam, and if you think that makes me sound crazy, how about you go and make a 16-part series where you rank every Beatles song and spend 5 hours every other week editing it. But anyway, Polythene Pam is at 28. It's the first rap song ever written. It's one of my go-to Beatles karaoke songs in the shower and the car and the train and the bus and the plane and the sky and the roof and the hill and the dirt and the knoll, the grassy knoll and the carpet and the bed and the spaceship. What am I going on about? Absolutely crazy. But Polythene Pam's quite a nice song. I think it's really good. It's very simple. It tells a little story about this lady or man who dresses in drag with a polythene bag. Polythene's a type of plastic, by the way. And polythene's such a niche word. It's quite clever, really, because whenever I hear the word polythene, I think of Polythene Pam. So it's quite good marketing, and it gets the Beatles into your everyday life all the time, because I hear polythene on a regular basis. We did it in science once, in about, I think you Americans would call it grade 6, in England we call it year 7. We did about 5 weeks doing polythenes in science, and I was just constantly over my head, going over and over, see, Polythene Pam, She said, you're looking much, you look like a man. Da, 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 da. It's quite a catchy tune. It's a very simple tune, but it's catchy. It's different. It's not samey. Nothing else sounds like Polythene Pam. It's unique. It's catchy. It's niche. It's perfect. It's brilliant. 28. Bye-bye. She came in through the bathroom window. Is it 27? I really like it. I really do. I like lyrics like, she worked at 15 clubs a day, and so I quit the police department, and she could steal but she could not rob, which I interpret to mean, steal means you take it, rob means you take it directly from a person, you hold them and you take it, and she could steal behind backs, but she could not rob, she could not look you in the eye and take it away. That's my interpretation of that very specific lyric from this very specific song. It's got quite a nice sound to it. I like Paul's vocals. I like the sort of beach guitar, I'd call it. It's got sort of the medley, the Abbey Road medley, sort of has common themes running all the way through it. And the guitar in this, loud people outside, the guitar in this is quite similar to the guitar in Polythene Pam, particularly at the end, which is interesting because Polythene Pam segues directly into this. And the actual origin of this song is one Beatles fan who came to Paul McCartney's accommodation through the bathroom window. So she, despite illegally breaking and entering in a crazed manner, is now immortalised in a song in one of the most listened to albums of all time. So I guess for committing a horrible crime, she's actually become really, really famous. Anyway, let's go in at number 27.
You say that you love me, all of the time, You say that you need me,
So sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. But at the start of this next clip, I accidentally call Golden Slumbers, She Came In Through the Bathroom Window. I know, it's really awful. But I'm really, really sorry. I thought I just needed to tell you that. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. You may remember She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, which is, by the way, going into number 78, from the John Lewis Christmas advert recently. In fact, not that recently, a year and 5 months ago, but time is irrelevant, because right now you're watching a review of the 50-year-old album on a 7-year-old YouTube channel. So, you know, you decide what you consider old. Anyway, it's alright, innit? Yeah, it's alright. Paul's got quite a powerful vocal when he goes to the Golden Slumbers sort of bit, which is contrasting to the sort of more mellow Once There Was a Way section. Does all of Paul's best bits vocally, but the song isn't that engaging, doesn't really mean a lot to me. Once There Was a Way to Get Back Homeward. I think the lyrics are sort of interpreted from a 17th century poem or something like that, but they aren't Paul's own. The tune is Paul's own, though. It's orchestral, and then halfway through, Ringo's drums come in to sort of say, yeah, it's still the Beatles, by the way. That's all I really got to say about whatever this song's called. Golden Slumbers. That's going in at number 78.
I'm feeling glad all over, yes I'm glad all over, baby I'm glad all over, so glad you're mine.
At 150, it's Carry That Weight. Despite being quite lyrically weak and musically weak, just going, boy, you're going to carry that weight, you're going to carry that weight a long time. And then one leftover verse from You Never Give Me Your Money. It's got quite a deep meaning. It's sort of about Paul's feeling of the Beatles' experience at the time. It was heavy, he says, but not heavy like, whoa man, That's heavy. Heavy. Really weighing on him. The whole thing about being a Beatle. Not because of the touring or anything like that. That was long over. It was more about going around, dealing with money, accountants, Alan Klein. Just everything was falling apart in his life at the time. The relationship between the band and the people who deal with the dosh. It's just all collapsing around him. Really sad time. Really sad. I tried to force my... Oh, I did it. There you go. I'm quite good at that. Making my eyes water. But anyway, it's a really somber time now. Because we're on to the last song the Beatles ever recorded together. The End.
I'll make you happy, you'll never be blue, you'll have no sorrow, 'cause I'll always be true, and I'll be there.
At 13, it's The End. The reason it's that high, that rocking drum solo. I also like the Love You bit because it's just the four Beatles all jamming out together. Ringo on drums, George on lead guitar, Paul on bass, John on rhythm guitar. Like the good old days, you know. Sort of circular structure, ending as you began. The only part of the song I don't really like is the last line, which most people think it's great. But personally, I think it's a bit fake deep. I don't really see a lot of truth in that last line. The love you make is equal to the love you take. Or the other way round. But I do quite like the first bit. Oh yeah, alright, are you gonna be in my dreams tonight? Mainly because the first time I listened to that was the first time I listened to the album. It's quite late at night. I started listening to it. Probably started listening to it at 11, so I wasn't done till nearly midnight. And I listened to that line, you know, almost right before I went to bed. So, you know, pointless story, but quite symbolic, I guess. And that's going at number 13. You may have noticed I just made you sit through 14 seconds of absolutely nothing, which is what you actually have to do when you listen to Abbey Road to get to the secret track, Her Majesty, which isn't listed on the sleeve. It's not listed on the actual record. You would not have known about it unless you sat at the end of the album for 14 seconds and waited for something. And that's what I just made you do. You wouldn't know this was in the video unless you skipped to the end or waited the 14 seconds. But anyway, I've put it at 152. 152. Can't really put it any higher because it's only about 23 seconds long. It's not very notable. It's about getting a girl drunk and then shagging her, which is a bit illegal, but you know, it's Paul McCartney, so I'll let her off. And Paul McCartney himself once sang it to the actual Queen of England, who is quite rich, but not as rich as the three surviving members of Queen. Anyway, I'm going to go because my iPad's on 1%. Goodbye. I'll see you in 2 weeks for Let It Be. And then at some point in the near future for Past Masters. Bye-bye.